Hi, welcome to Stories Around the Fire. Tonight's guest is Myles Maestro. He is a Dallas musician. He's an Emmy award winning comedian. He's been featured in Todrick Hall's music videos. He's been a part of a traveling improv group. He's worked behind the scenes at festivals across the U.S. And he has appeared as a guest on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. He is a music and movie buff and all around pop culture enthusiast. So let me get him on here and we will start.
What up?
Hey Myles,
How
what's
you
up?
doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well.
Excellent. I'm trying to get my camera straightened out. I'm sorry. What's been going on?
Not much. I've been putting a lot of work into this new album and also working at a brewery called
Are you?
Rollertown Beer Works. That's what this had.
That's cool.
And
Where is it?
it's in Salina, Texas, which is
Very
just
cool.
2 towns north of Frisco. I am
Nice.
also drinking their Kolsch called the Big German. It's very good. It's named after our favorite German in Dallas, Dirk Nowitzki. Minimal
Oh,
hops with the smooth finish.
that's fun. Having a nice cold one.
Yeah, sitting on the back porch, enjoying the nighttime air.
Yes. Oh, I have a visitor. One second.
Oh, no problem. Hello, kitty.
Okay, so if you want to get started, we'll go ahead and jump into it.
Do it.
One thing, I'm gonna ask you for a story at the end of the interview, and then we'll play a game.
Okay, no
Is
problem.
that cool?
Yeah, of course.
Hi, Abby. I see Abby's on here.
Hello. Yeah, whatever
So
you want to do, I'm down.
okay, cool. Awesome. If you don't want to answer anything, you don't have to.
Got you.
My mom's here. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
So, my first question is, I know you have done a whole lot. You're young and you've already done a whole lot of things creatively. Do you mind talking about some of those things? I just listed some that I know that easy to find online and stuff, but
Mm.
the things that are important to you.
So, I guess I was never heavily involved in like active performing or anything like that until probably high school.
Yeah.
But for as long as I can remember, I've been writing songs. I
Oh,
remember, like, I don't know if you remember the little nursery rhyme, like, boys go to Jupiter to get more stupider,
oh yeah.
girls go
I
to Mars
remember.
to get more smart or whatever. I remember, like, trying to remake that as a kid into my own song when I was in, like, fourth or fifth grade. And
Wow.
I guess it kind of started there. I would like write random songs and show all my friends. At the time, I was super into like Linkin Park and Eminem
Right.
and Asher Roth and
Oh wow.
a bunch of like random just music. I was like exclusively listening to rap music also, so I really wanted to be a rapper. B.O.B. was another one. Uh,
Hmm.
But I guess I just started like listening to them and being like, yo, I could talk about some stuff in this. Like I could do this myself. And I started like every now and then doing it. It was around like eighth grade where I started like heavily writing like every single day.
Wow. That's
Uh
still pretty young.
yeah, so I was never like really thinking about it because I remember always wanting to be in movies. I was never really thinking that music was the route I wanted to take.
Hmm.
Um And then I got into high school and started doing the broadcast program along with like choir. And even before I joined broadcast, I was in theater for a little bit. And I started in a play in eighth grade, and then I did like some little minor roles in like my first 2 years of high school until I left theater to join broadcast and choir. And that's where I started learning everything. Around that time, I also started teaching myself piano.
Oh
uh,
wow.
because my dad was making me and all my sisters take classes, and he was like, "Okay, I want you guys to learn how to piano to play the piano, and you gotta play whatever the teacher tells you, and there was like boring stuff
Yeah.
like Jingle Bells and
Hmm.
the Nutcracker or whatever. I don't even know. Like it was just random little like take
Yeah.
me out to the ball game. And I
You
was like,
weren't
Dad,
interested in
what's that?
stuff that you weren't interested in.
Exactly, exactly. I wanted to play. I remember always listening to this Zach Brown band song called Colder Weather, and that was the first song I learned completely through on the piano. And
Wow.
that one's always been like a really good song that's very close to my heart. I have a lot of like very nostalgic memories, I guess, involved with it. But I remember that song being the one to motivate me to learn piano for myself. And me and my dad made a deal that if I could play songs from the radio, I wouldn't have to take the classes anymore. So I
Oh,
started like watching YouTube videos until I kind of started picking up the patterns of different chords while doing like tutorials and stuff. And I was like, oh, I kind of remember this area of how to do all this. And I guess from there, I just started learning chords and then just playing whatever. And then I joined a comedy, the broadcast program I was in my senior year. They were doing a comedy show, and so I auditioned for the comedy show, and I got the musical director position, which was
wow.
basically I would just help our teacher, Mr. Kennedy, find guests to bring onto the show, and I would like bring them into the studio, show them all like where they're going to be set up at, and Brady, the host of the show, would interview them, and then they would start either playing like music by themselves or like with the band that we had there behind them, and it kind of turned into its own little creature. It started getting pretty popular, and then Stephen Colbert and like the director of CBS saw it and invited us out to New York to work on the show with him. So we were working behind the scenes with the Christmas show with John Goodman and Nora Jones, and
Wow.
we got to be in the writers' meetings and contribute like some jokes and stuff that they were doing in that. I mean, truthfully, what we were doing in that comedy show, because Mr. Kennedy had made us all read these comedy books and like how to properly write comedy and build up, like set up things for punchlines and which words are most effective within punchlines and which sounds and things like that. And our writers meetings didn't look a lot different from the Colbert writers meetings. They were just on a smaller scale. So it
Right.
was really cool to see like, yo, they're just doing like what we're doing except every day, not every Friday.
Right.
So
Wow. It's like a crash course.
yeah, it really was. And then Todrick was one of the guests that we brought on there. And then me and him just stayed in touch after that. And when I was in college, I went to a semester at Texas State to pursue film. And then he had offered me a job acting in his music video, which is what I really wanted to do. I say music video, it was more like a visual album. It was like a hour
Yeah.
and 38 minutes long visual album called Forbidden. And we did that throughout that entire process. I lived with him probably from like January of 2018 up until July or August of 2018,
Wow.
and just watched his whole process from beginning to start of just having the idea to going in and creating the songs and then doing the videos and all the little like things that would add up to bigger projects. And it was just like insane watching this guy work. And it really inspired me, especially after we went on tour to find my own perspective and voice
Sure.
that into the world. And I was really caught up in like you know myself at that time. I would say I was in like a
Well,
pretty
that's normal for that age.
yeah. It's I guess it's unfortunately it's a stage we all got to go through, but I guess you do have to go through it in order to realize that you know what, I'm better off not acting that way.
Right.
Because you already tried it. It's human
Right.
nature. We have to try it. We have to see for ourselves.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, and then I came back from tour uh, and started making my own music. It was released an EP in July of 2018 called Essence. It was a 4-track EP of just some beats my friend Brady made, and I just wrote some rhymes on them. We recorded them at this studio in Deep Ellum that's gone now called Rocket Lab Studios. I think they got bought out by a bigger company, but that was where we recorded it, and it was an interesting time. I ended up like dropping the EP and then like hating myself for it. It was like a
No.
super rushed project, and then
Well, you learn from it, right?
right, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I mean,
Learning experiences,
it
all
was
of
definitely
the things,
experience.
yeah, you look back on and think I would have done it differently. That's good because now you know. Selena, let's see. Regina, Ellison, Abby's here, I think.
What's
There's
up? How y'all
the whole
doing? Whole crew.
So, you said that your dad had your family, your siblings, take piano and stuff. Are you I take it you're not the only creative one in your family.
So I don't think so, but I'm the only one who actively pursues and I would say exercises the creative mind.
Oh, really?
All the other ones, like my sister, I have 3 sisters younger than me. Tara, she's pursuing the medical field. I'm not sure. I'm not going to elaborate because I don't know,
Yeah.
and anything I'd say would probably be wrong. The medical field of some sort at A&M. Uh, then Trinity, she works at Chick-fil-A and what would you say? I don't know. It's like a cryo, like that freeze therapy.
She puts
Good
that
for your
freeze
muscles
on
and stuff. Yeah, she gets her freeze on for sure. And my
them.
youngest sister Tate is still in high school, and she just, she she tears it up on the basketball court.
Oh, wow.
That girl works out all day, every day. I'm not even kidding. It's like 8 hours a day. She's on the court. She shoots like 1,000 shots a day.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, and then
Wow.
I'm just in the studio doing that, except with alcohol and recording random stuff.
That's awesome though. That's so cool. So you said you lived with Todrick Hall for a little while.
Hmm.
Who are some of the artists that you look up to? I know you said you were inspired by seeing his process, seeing all the things that you have to do.
Yeah.
Who are some other artists that you?
Um, I would say especially so after that one EP I released, I started really reevaluating what kind of music I wanted to pursue because I didn't see myself as like a rapper per se. And I really started to explore different types of music and especially like indie rock and
Yeah,
classic rock because truthfully, up until like 2018, I'd never really given that type of music a big chance except for like the super mainstream stuff that plays everywhere. Uh, so I got into um, who would I say? I got into Cage the Elephant around that time. I'd always
crazy.
been into John Mayer. He had been a big inspiration, but I think I started listening to his music more heavily. Uh,
Yeah,
that was around the time I discovered Dominic Fike and Omar Apollo, which are some new artists, but they're let's say pop rockish. John Bellion. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him.
I don't think so.
He sings that song that's like, I'm at an all-time low, 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 low.
I don't know it. I'll look it up though.
You should. It's a great song. It's a jam. But that artist, he also wrote The Monster. He wrote the chorus of The Monster for Eminem and Rihanna.
Oh, wow.
So the I'm friends with the monster that's under my bed. That's the I don't know if you remember that song. It was in like 2017. But John Bellion posted all these videos on YouTube of how he made his beats. And after I started exploring that different types of music, I thought it wasn't enough to just write rhymes on top of beats I got off YouTube or from other people uh, that had made them. I wanted to be the one making the beats. I wanted to be the one behind the boards and learning that type of stuff because I feel like I'd be able to get my message across more effectively because I've always been very like message driven.
Yeah,
I don't like surface level music is what I'm going to call it with talking about just things going on in day to day. I think I've always been a deep thinker, but never really known how to vocalize it. And learning to do music and express words without words, like express emotions with
Yeah,
instruments and
totally.
things like that. That was like what I was really trying to tap into. So I met this guy named Troy. He used to work for Def Jam, and
Oh, wow.
he taught me a bunch of stuff about music theory. He gave me this spreadsheet of all like the psychological effects of each different key and how to if you can. Hey, cut it out, dogs, man. It had like a spreadsheet of all the different psychological effects of each key. So like all the different types of keys within music, the circle of fifths, right? So I learned I took like the next year and studied that entirely and just making beats based off that spreadsheet he had given me and learning different drum patterns and whatnot. And then I released Ghost and and that was super inspired by Brockhampton, who I was listening to a lot at the time. I'm not sure if you're familiar with them. They're like a rap group collective. I wouldn't even call them rap. I'd call it like alternative rap, hip hop. I don't even know. Uh, but I got super into them at the time, and specifically the song called Face. Uh, Tell me what you're waiting for. I just wanna love you. It went something like that, and I started listening to them a lot, and yeah. So I would say that type of like alternative hip hop sound is really
Yeah.
started to get into, and artists like Lil Peep and stuff were definitely on the forefront of that. Maybe more on the trap side. I wouldn't say I venture as far into the trap side, but it's definitely I like listening to lots of different music and pulling inspiration from anything.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
think you can hear that in your stuff too, and I
thank
think
you.
that's a good thing.
I mean, I'll pull inspiration from anything from Drowning Pool to Alicia Keys. You know, it could
Yeah.
it's on all sides of the spectrum. I think music's coolest when you can combine the most things and still make it like cohesive and have like
Definitely.
a fluid thought.
Kind of a genre bending thing is
Absolutely.
really, yeah. So I know you like to collaborate with others. Who would be your like ultimate dream collaboration?
Dream collaboration. If I
Mhm.
could collaborate with anyone, who would it be?
Mhm.
Dr. Dre.
Really?
Yeah, I would love
That's
like I
awesome.
love Anderson .Paak and the album Oxnard that Dr. Dre produced for him. It was just such a like jazzy and hip hop experience. It wasn't even music. It was like a whole nother thing. And I would love to explore uh like rock music with him in that type of way, but with his old school West Coast spin on it. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
think that rock and West Coast, like in a different way than Eminem combined them, but I would, or even the Beastie Boys, I would want to find a more modern fit to that type of sound and
Yeah.
see what our brains, either him or Rick Rubin.
Oh, yeah.
So it would definitely be one of them. And then,
Yeah. Then
yeah,
pretty badass.
I love them,
I mean,
both of
so
them.
is Dre, but you know.
Huge inspirations of mine. I just
Yeah.
watched that Beastie Boys documentary, and
Is it
it was like
awesome?
a live documentary. It was interesting. They were just on stage, and clips would play every now and then. It was Rick Rubin was a big part in it on the video side because I believe that him and the Beastie Boys had a falling out or whatever. But
Oh,
so he didn't speak on it, but he was definitely in the videos. It was really cool seeing their side of the story in that way.
yeah.
So yeah,
Well,
it's anyway.
so you said that you started, well, one of your main goals in music is to, relate and get a message across that maybe is not as easy to just say.
Yeah,
So what is that the most important aspect of each of your songs, or like when you're breaking it down and doing like lyrics, beats, instrumentation,
yeah.
what is the probably like the most important piece of the puzzle?
I think each song varies on which part's the most important piece,
That
depending
makes
on either the experience or the emotion I'm trying to portray, I think sometimes it could be the instrumentation that's really getting this message across, or uh, you know, it could be the words and the specific placement of each sound of each word and how that flows. It feels like a river. Like there's a lot of different technical things that I'm super adamant about when it comes to creating music. And I mean, each song just varies on which element of the song is
The key
dominant
piece.
in getting that message across. But the whole goal is to build the biggest platform I can to show people, to help people if they'll just listen to what I'm saying, because I love listening to music and I get like detective mode on it, right? Like I'm listening
Yeah,
every
it's
little thing.
hard.
There could be a deeper meaning behind what they're saying, or double entendres, triple entendres, whatever. Like how, like if there's double meanings in what they're saying, I want to know every single bit of it so I can learn to speak abstractly yet it still be cohesive as like a whole. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
And when you have like lyrics like that, or even like instrumentation that makes you feel a certain way, if you're not like exact with it, if you are more abstract and you're more all encompassing, you kind of get a whole lot of different types of people that like your music because you've sent your message and they maybe even got a different message from it,
yeah,
one that works for them.
I'm a very big believer in a default setting that people can find themselves in,
Yeah,
blindly pursuing the surface level pleasures of life, the instant gratification mindset of just I need happiness and I need it now and I'm not going to work for it. I just deserve it. Um,
right.
I'm very for analyzing myself and why I feel that way sometimes, and hoping in the idea of bringing that to light, it could plant the seed in some people's life to maybe get out of their default setting and really make the most out of their life, as opposed to just, blindly pursuing pleasures that other people say are cool or whatever. I
What
think
you should
it
be doing.
is diminishing before our eyes all the time because people are just they just follow one another like sheep. It's
Yeah.
I think the biggest goal is to build the platform to kind of plant the seed to help people recognize it in themselves and then act upon it, because we all do it. It's not just
Yeah.
other people and it's not just me. It's something.
No, it's a collective
Yeah.
thing. Yeah. So when you are putting your stuff out there, you probably know how bogged down everything can get with so many people releasing things,
Yeah.
so many people creating, and no shade to be thrown at them, but how do you like set yourself apart from that? Because the internet, all the different streaming services, just anything
Yeah.
you put on, you kind of, have to stand out. Other than like, obviously if someone heard your music, that's a repeatable thing. Like, yes, I
Yeah.
like this. But like, how do you initially nail it?
I think that's a part of the battle that I'm still fighting through right now. Finding the most effective ways to get the music out there, if that's what you mean by that.
Yeah, I guess.
Uh, I think I think the hardest part about making music and being upcoming and staying local to where you're from, I think the people who immediately see it are the people who already have this idea of who you are.
Hmm.
And if you're going through changes and voicing those changes on through music or through any type of art, it's hard to break the already complete image that people have of you,
Yeah.
per se, because I mean, we just as humans like to assume we have it all figured out. And I mean, I'm no different. I assume I have some people figured out before I ever do, while I'm still long off. And I think, I don't know, I think that's a part of the process I'm still working through, because getting people to share is definitely, I would say, the biggest struggle. Now that being said, I only have one song out that I've really pushed. I took everything else down except Ghost recently.
Really?
I did, except on SoundCloud. You can find all the other stuff still. But I'm definitely I have with this new project I've been working on. I definitely have a cohesive message, a consistent sound, a direction, I would say,
Right.
for where I'm trying to go. And some of those just didn't meet my standards of perfectionism, I would say. It's something I've always struggled with, is being such a perfectionist. I never release anything. But luckily, I'm working with some people now that have been kind of pulling me out of that toxic habit.
Good.
So we got, I don't want to say too much, but we got a lot of tracks in store, more than I've ever released before,
Oh,
especially at
good.
one time.
That's awesome.
I'm actually uh, getting ready to release the teaser and release date for the first single of the project.
That's tomorrow, right? That you're releasing
It
that?
is, yeah.
Yeah. And you're
I'm
doing that on
ready. It's
Instagram and Spotify and stuff, or
yeah. So it will be across all the boards. It will be on everything. Even
awesome.
Pandora this time. I know I had some troubles with that last time getting it on Pandora, but it will be there this time for the people who want to discover. Uh,
Yes.
so I'm so looking forward to it. It's been a long, hard process, and I've scrapped hundreds and
Yeah.
hundreds of songs over the last year to get to this version of it that it is now. It's really exciting.
How are you connecting with fans right now? I know you were doing some live stuff there for a while, and
So that's gonna continue. I actually was supposed to have another one on Tuesday, but there was some miscommunication of time zones with the guy I was interviewing. He's from Oregon, uh,
oh,
and so he was under the impression that it was 5 his time, not 5 Central, and I wasn't smart enough to go ahead and clear that up in the beginning, so it did not work out for this week. I have another interview on Saturday with my friend Griffin, who's getting ready to release his first, or I guess not his first, but his next single tomorrow called "Feel My Heart." So
wow,
we actually we have a song on my project together too. That's coming up that I'm really excited about. It's probably one of my favorite ones of all time
really?
that I've done. Yeah.
I'll be looking for that one. Do you think it's more important for you? I know you have that I know of, a pretty solid local following. Do you think it's more important for you to kind of keep that like regional? I know some bands who like only perform in their little quadrant of the United States, and they do really well that way. And like when people find them outside of there, um, it's good because they are being, discovered there, but also like they don't tour, all around. Do you want to like really like go, super big, or are you
I would love to play stadiums one day.
really?
I would love to. I would
That's awesome.
love to be able to be put in the position to be in front of these producers who are at the top of their game, with these instrumentalists, to just I have so many things that I've just been holding on to, waiting for the day when I have an opportunity to work with some big time people, because I want in everything I do, especially music, I want it to be the best it can be. And sometimes I'll hold back if I know for a fact that I'm not going to pursue this idea right now, because I know for a fact I cannot get it to the level I'm at that I want it to be at, whether that's due to my vocal ability or uh, the mindset that I'm in, and I'm not in a place to where I could really honestly write about that, or
Right.
I need to wait for a time where I'm really reflecting on that type of feeling or whatever. I would love to just work with the best of the best and make music for different experiences, and reach as many people as possible. I mean that's the ultimate goal. It's
The
I
end goal is selling out stadiums Many albums,
Yeah.
many fans.
I wanna music is my outlet, and I don't think that music is in a place today where you can say, I mean, production is its own animal, but I mean like a song. If you were just singing a song over a piano or a guitar, like it's hard to say with music nowadays that's good or that's not. It's very open and subjective and up for
Totally.
interpretation by the listener on their own. There's so many
Hmm.
different people who use unorthodox ways of making or playing their music, and it's really cool to see that type of spectrum that it's grown into, as opposed to just blueprint. This is how you
Right.
make a song: one verse, one
Hmm.
chorus, second verse, or whatever. Like things are kind of breaking barriers and uh, and stretching boundaries. I think that I'm excited to kind of release my music into that void and see
Yeah.
what kind of name it makes for itself, because it wasn't until this year really people started, I would say, more people than the direct people I sent it to started listening to Ghost. And
I heard you on the radio. Yeah.
yes, I was on the
Yeah,
radio.
you got on the radio. That's awesome. Congrats.
97.1, the Ben and Skin show. They had a
That's
song
awesome.
challenge, and they're the owners of this brewery actually that I work at. And
Very cool.
I had shown them my music and kind of just shared my heart with them and what the song meant to me. And they've heard all, not all, but they've heard a lot of the unreleased stuff I have that I'm getting ready to drop, and they're excited about that too. They've been them, and I would say my dad have been some of my biggest supporters. Uh,
Oh,
so they did the song challenge on their show, and it was your favorite song by an artist you bet other people have never heard of. And so he chose my song, and it's just been awesome. I mean, the amount of people that reached was insane. More people than I ever thought would even want to listen, and it's gotten me really excited to start releasing again, because
I'm
I've been kind of taking a little hiatus during this quarantine, figuring out uh,
understandable.
how this is gonna play out.
Hmm.
So.
I feel that. So, if you weren't doing music, what what else are you into? What else would you be doing?
Hey, chill
I know
out.
that's hard because you just told me how important music was. I
Yeah,
know that's a
honestly,
loaded question.
I have no clue. I don't have a backup plan.
Not really a plan B.
I
That's
don't.
good though.
I
That's
don't.
when you have to make it work, you know?
If I wasn't doing music, I'd probably be a monk, like traveling. Where I mean, I wouldn't even have social media if it wasn't for this career that I'm trying to pursue.
Wow.
Like, I think it's so toxic to the brain, and I
Oh
hate
yeah.
having to post all the time. But it's you got to do what you got to do.
Mhm.
Uh, but I mean, I try to avoid it. I'm not gonna lie, as much as I possibly can.
Really?
It's so, especially for me, I'm like an anxious person,
Oh no, I feel that.
and if I'm looking at what everyone else thinks of me when I already know what I think of me, it's not good for me.
Yeah.
So I don't really. I've honestly learned over time. I feel like I've always been out there as a person. I feel like all growing up, I remember people always giving me a hard time about being loud or flamboyant or whatever, like whatever it is. I've really learned, or being short even in my elementary school. I've really learned to deal with that on like on a non-existent level. Like, okay, they can think what they want. Their thoughts
Yeah.
don't affect me. Uh, and if they think that way of me, the only reason they think that way of me is because they don't even know who I am really anyway. They've never
Yeah.
taken the time to get to know me anyway. So why would I care what someone who doesn't know
No.
what they're talking about says about me and what I already know?
Mm-hmm.
But
Totally not worth it.
I like to take everything, even the stuff I say, with a grain of salt and really sit down and backtrack and analyze. And I feel like that's part of the reason why I get anxious. because
Yeah.
it's a whirlpool in my head most of the time.
Yeah.
Get
It's
exhausting.
it's probably harder now, I feel like, not having some of the outlets that, just come with being able to go to a place
Yeah.
or, just get out and just be, I don't know, just out of the house, out of your head. I know that, like, I consider myself super introverted. Like, I could just stay here forever, build me a vault, I'll get in it,
Yeah.
whatever, But like this has been, even hard not seeing people's faces, just like seeing people's faces. And like I seen you doing those interviews and I was just, this is you connecting,
Yeah.
like that's just what I seen, just you connecting and it just like I was like I need connection also.
Right. Like you said,
Yeah.
you're an introvert. I'm a stupid extrovert. Like I crave the connection of others. Uh,
Yeah.
shit, it's hard for me to stay single. I crave it so much. You know what I mean? You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, during this time, I've really had the opportunity to get very comfortable with myself. And
Yeah.
shit, I would say I've been forced to isolate so much that I've really really got on a new level of comfortability and confidence with myself, honestly. And
Well,
I feel like you'll be able to hear that in the music as well. It's very intentional. It's very cohesive. It's I don't want to give away the title yet, so I'm not going to.
yeah.
But it's it all plays into each other. It's beautifully written. And I'm not the only one who took part in that. So uh, I like uh, I like to look at it as like its own little play because it really is a story.
Well, I am definitely looking forward to that. I can't wait to hear about it. I'm gonna tune into your stuff tomorrow and try to get the jump on it.
So I'll just go ahead and give you the rundown. Don't expect too much tomorrow. It's a 20-second teaser of the intro of the
I
song.
still want to hear it though.
Okay. I'm so excited for people to even just hear that much because right off
Yeah.
the bat you'll be able to tell that it's different than what's been dropped in the past, and it is fun, it is action packed, it is a delight, and I've enjoyed every second of making it. It's been so fantastic.
Well, that sounds like it's gonna be really good.
Thank
Hi,
you.
Yari. Hi, Bo. I see some
Hey.
familiar faces down there. So, I think, let's see, I think that was like the bulk of my questions. You answered some of them without me having to ask them.
Oh, okay.
But I do want to hear your story. This
Okay.
is storytelling, so any kind of story, it doesn't have to be crazy, outlandish. It doesn't have to be, super heavy or anything,
Okay.
whatever you want. And then we'll play a game.
Okay. What kind of story are you looking for?
Anything,
Any kind of story.
anything you're comfortable telling.
Okay, well, let me just give because I've never really vocalized this publicly, but a lot of people who are close to me know this. When I came back from the Tajik tour, I took I took a shrooms trip, and I was in like I told you, a very egotistical state of mind,
Ooh,
and I paid the price that night.
yeah.
Here's what I mean. It started off nice. It started off innocent. We were painting, going back and forth between painting and watching Cars 3, chatting it up about this lizard that we kept seeing all night, and
Oh,
how like everything happens for a reason, and how it's crazy how all of our lives have led up to this moment right here, and who knows why. And it's just it's a it was extremely intense time because after all that, one of my friends who was there sat down and he was like, "Hey, like I'm not feeling good. Like I'm feeling goofy right now. Like something's not right." And I was like, "Dude, like I was mad anxious earlier. Like don't worry about it. Like just get out of your head.
find it out, yeah.
Just feel it out. Do what you got to do." And he was like, "Yeah, just give me a minute, like give me some space." And I was like, "Okay." My other friend had gone inside at that point, and so I just followed him in. And I turned, and he was passed out on the couch, but like he was, his back was arched, and his eyes were in the back of his head, and he was like,
Oh,
looked like he was having like a seizure or like a vision or both. Like I didn't know what. I was freaking out. I started like shaking him, like, "Wake up, wake up." He pops up, but not before my vision started going to shit and like just super blurry. I was like so disoriented that I passed out. And this is no joke. This is the part that's really stuck with me. Um, as I as I passed out on the ground, I could see myself in the third person passed out.
no.
And all these thoughts were going through my mind, like, wow, like this is what your life led up to. This is what you allowed yourself to be. You've been so self-centered. You've been so only caring about yourself. You never took the time to spend time with your family when everything went to shit over there. And all you cared about was making a name for yourself. And now look what that name got you. Look how far that got you. And it was a rude awakening for me. I thought I was dead. I really did, for like however long it lasted. I had no concept of time, so I couldn't tell you, but it felt like a really long time. And then my ex-girlfriend was there, and she was shaking me, and I was just looking at her shaking me, and I wasn't feeling it, and I was like, wow, this is like really it. Like, I'm done. And then
Wow.
I don't know what happened, but something snapped me out of it, and I woke back up into the first person to her shaking me, like, "Wake up, Ty, wake up." And
No.
I was like, oh my God. I got up. I was still like super disoriented. I couldn't walk. I fell on the ground. I'm like, I have really bad hearing as it is, but all my hearing just like instant ring. And I couldn't hear anything. And then it just like all died out. All the chaos inside of my head, like everything just came to a calm. And I like went like this on my head, and like water just fell down. Like my shirt was soaked through, like I just jumped into a swimming pool. Like all of my clothes were soaking wet. I'd sweat so much. And the next day is when I decided that I was going to get into music. And uh, that was like, I had this song called WIA, which stands for Who I Am, because it was like a revelation for me, honestly,
Yeah.
seeing that, like, you know what, it isn't about me. And I feel like when you're so focused on yourself, you forget how precious life can be with others. And it really forced it into focus that I was living wrong, and I shouldn't be living for myself and selfishly. And I want to do what's not only best for humanity, but best for the world and all of creation. And I feel like a really good way to do that is to help people, um, without the effects of drugs, to evaluate those types of thoughts and to really think about what your life and what it means and who you want to be as a person, and not just like how much money you want to have and what car you want to drive. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I would say that that's my story. Every day since then, I've been
Story.
at working on music. Literally every day, I've filled up since that time probably 7 or 8 notebooks of different songs.
Wow. So even though it sounds like a terrifying
It
experience,
was.
it
It
sounds like you
absolutely was.
got a ton of juice from it.
So, you know what's funny is this song that the teaser is releasing for tomorrow is about the fact that, you know what, I think the hardest times of my lives and in my life and in the scariest times of my life had forced me to realize that they can be the best times, because they really teach you to appreciate the good times that so many of us take for granted, myself included. Um,
Right.
it's about, I don't want to forget all those times that I would be so drowning in my self-hate and sorrow, or even self-loathing, and just bathing in a fountain of ego. You know what I'm saying? Just like being
Yeah.
so full of yourself that you're not even willing to listen to the opinion of another person. I don't ever want to live that way again. and I don't ever want to forget those times, so I don't start taking the good ones for granted again. Uh,
Yeah.
so yeah, I mean my story, that story plays into everything I do. If I'm being honest, it's probably one of the most spiritual moments of my entire life.
Yeah.
Uh,
And
and
that's heavy. I mean,
I don't know why it happened, but I am appreciative that it did, you know?
right. Well, that sounds like some, I don't know, some super serious breaking of the ego.
Right?
Like,
Ego death
yeah,
to the max.
yeah. It I think a lot of people who experience hallucinogens, I mean, just some of my friends, you see a really big change in their like total outlook. Um, and I don't know if that's from just the, seeing it from a seeing the world from a different point of view, or really like just being able to look inward so much so that, you see a whole bunch of stuff that is not there on the surface,
Yeah, I feel like the hardest part about all that stuff is learning how to be honest with yourself. Because I feel like so many of us suffer with being pathological liars, not to other people necessarily, but 100% to ourselves, and
Mhm.
lying to ourselves about our reality and our experiences. And
Yeah. And just not being self-aware in general. And that's something that
exactly.
happens, I think, when people are young and you're coming out of the I'm a teenager, I know everything, and then you get hit with life and you're like, wow, I didn't know anything. And then I feel like, I don't know, I mean, I'm 33 now, but my 20s were really like the super discovery of by the time I was a teenager, older teenager, I had figured out how to be a human, but now I have to figure out how to be a human adult and like deal with my emotions and myself. And my 20s were just that time period where I just had to like become very self-aware. And that's hard,
It
when you're
is,
not
especially when you don't practice it actively every single day.
exactly. And if you fight it, which I did, I mean, it makes for miserable times.
Yeah, I mean, holding on to that ignorance is bliss, and if I just ignore it, it's not
Hmm.
there. It's a toxic state of mind to be in. It can be crippling not only to your life but everyone in it.
Yeah. Yeah, you destroy some things around you while
Yeah,
you're,
in
clawing at
relationships,
it.
some
Especially,
burned bridges that can never be repaired.
yeah, yeah. 20s kind of sucked. I'm not gonna lie. No, I'm really glad that everything that happened did though, because out on the other side is a whole lot of, you make sense of a whole lot of things. No,
Yeah,
I'm just speaking from, where I am now, but all those things and all those feelings and those things that I put myself through, you kind of get over all that, which
yeah,
is
absolutely.
something to look forward to, I guess.
Okay, I'm
you know.
trying to
All right,
see in the
so
bright
we got
side.
super heavy there.
Okay, sorry.
So now, no, no, I'm really glad you shared that. That was, that was quite the story.
Yeah,
Um, and an experience that I think, not that exact experience, but I think that some people, will definitely relate to that.
yeah, it can be. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
all I have to say.
yeah. All right, so we're gonna play a game, if you will, and it's based on an old game show called Name That Tune. But the rules are to take turns humming a few bars of a song and letting the other person guess what song it is.
Okay.
So I feel like this is gonna be really hard for you because I can't carry a tune. So it looks like we are about 10 minutes out from our hour. So I chose three songs, but I think we should just do two apiece because I
Okay.
really think like it's gonna be too rough on you because I really suck.
Okay.
And do you want me to go first or do you want to go first?
You can go first. I'll go after you.
Oh my
You can
God.
go ahead and set the tone.
Okay, here goes. Okay. Mhm. 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 Mhm.
That's Free Fallin' by Tom Petty.
It is, you got it. All right, you go.
All right, my turn.
hmm Is this a song that I would know?
Yeah.
Oh, give me the B boys and free my soul.
Give me
Yeah,
the
right.
beat, boy, free my
Yeah.
soul. I wanna get lost in your rock and roll.
When I was a
Ease the
kid, I
way.
thought the lyrics were "Give me the Beach Boys."
Oh, I mean, hey, I feel like everyone at some point has probably felt like that. Give me the
Give me the
beat,
Beach
boy.
Boys. Yeah. Okay, so I have to choose between one of the other two that I picked, and it's gonna be really hard.
Okay.
Okay, I'm ready. You ready?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Okay. Nothing.
Nothing.
All right, I'm about to do the chorus, and then we
Okay,
can just
okay.
say give up.
Tiny Dancer by Elton John.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
you got it. How did you get that? All right,
Very closer, tiny dancer.
that's right. That's a good song.
Hold me closer.
All right, do your other one.
Okay. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun.
Oh
Dun dun
man.
dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun
Yes,
dun
yes.
dun.
I see it in the comments. That's what it was. I couldn't put it together. Waiting on the world to change. Yes. Anta Vinley. Yes. That's what it
All
was.
right.
I was like, come on, I know this tune. Oh, I'm sorry. That was on me.
No, you're good. You're good.
That was on me spacing. All right,
Continuum,
so
best
tell
album ever.
everybody what?
I say Continuum, the best album ever.
Yeah. I used to not like John Mayer, but
Because of him as a person or because of his music?
I don't know. I just got this weird thing in my head, like you were talking about earlier. I felt like everybody liked him. And my friend, one of my best friends, had this like ungodly crush on him. And I
Mhm.
just got tired of hearing it. But no, and then you played one time when we were doing the theater thing, you played that song, that newer song or whatever. Okay, wait, one more round.
Okay.
Yeah, but anyways, that's when I started liking him. One more round. Let's go. Okay, I'm gonna go.
All right.
Um, I couldn't go that low.
My loneliness is killing me, and I.
I
What's that?
must confess.
Hit me one more time.
Mhm.
Hit me, baby, one more time.
All
I
right,
associate
do your
that song with the Robots movie. You ever seen
what?
that movie? You ever seen the movie Robots?
Mm-mm.
Oh my God, you're missing out to Robin Williams
You might look
doing
at
the.
it though. You go. Last one. Go, go, go.
Oh, okay. Um, Shit. What was I gonna do? Let me think for a second.
Uh-oh.
Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun
Yes, Firefly.
dun 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 dun. Yeah.
Who is incidentally? They are nailing every
Out
one of
City.
them. Good job. You are good at this.
You would not believe your eyes if 10 million fireflies.
Okay. Tell everybody how they can find you.
Okay, you guys can find me on Spotify,
Mari.
Apple Music, Amazon Music at Myles Maestro, Miles with the Y, Myles, Maestro, Maestro. You can find me on all social media platforms under that same at. Uh, you can find me on YouTube and new music coming very soon and a whole project coming even sooner. So,
So we need to tune in tomorrow to one of them, right?
what's up?
We need to tune in tomorrow to one of them, one of your platforms, just to
So
get.
yes, check it out. I got a teaser dropping tomorrow for the first song and video question mark could be the first video from Myles Maestro.
Wow.
Um, so we've been putting a lot of work into it. I'm very excited to get started on this chapter of music,
I'm
and
excited to hear all your
it's
stuff.
it's really awesome. I'm working hard, and you know I think the music's only getting better. So who knows what's gonna come after all this? So stay tuned because I promise I've been working and I promise it's coming. I've been putting in
And we can
more
hear
work.
Ghost right now, right?
What's up?
We can hear Ghost right now, right?
You can hear my first debut single, Ghost. It's available on all platforms. You can buy it on iTunes for 99 cents or Amazon or whatever. Uh, that song is very close to my heart. It's a very emotional song.
It's a great
It
song.
was a it was a it was a song of revelation for realizing that within the toxic relationship that you were the toxic one, and apologizing to the person for that. So you know, everything that I say, I promise, is more than the surface level when it comes to music, and I'm working hard to ensure that more people can dig into it and get detective mode like I like to, because I make it for the people who enjoy that stuff.
That's awesome. Thank
So,
you so much for
thank
coming
you.
on here. I can't wait to hear your stuff.
Thank you.
I'll try to put in the comments after I load this. I'll try to link some of your stuff in there.
Okay, great.
If not, I will just link them straight to your Instagram, and there they can find everything.
Awesome. Thank you
Um,
so much.
Thank you. Thank you. I had a
Yeah,
blast.
have a
I will
great one.
see everybody Tuesday.
Tuesday. All right, tune into the next one. It's going to be great. It's going to be
Thanks.
huge.
Thank y'all.
Trump impersonation.
Bye.
Well, I have a good one.